Safety and risk assessment, balanced competition, weight and skill level. The aims of this podcast are to explain what balanced competition is and to explain why balanced competition is needed in sport. Sports competitions can be balanced in the following ways: by age, by gender, by weight, or by skill level, which can also be known as grading. Many sports competitions are balanced in order to prevent injury and also to allow fair competition. Combat sports are often balanced or segregated by weight. Examples would be things like boxing, judo, karate, and wrestling. If you take the example of boxing, you're sure you'll be familiar with the different weight categories, like a flyweight, a featherweight, or a heavyweight. This is because added weight can give competitors a distinct advantage in combat sports. If you had a very light competitor who maybe weighed 7 stone, and they were fighting or boxing against a competitor that was weighing 18 stone, then there's a likelihood the 18 stone boxer is going to win. And that is because their weight will give them greater power. For instance, it would be easier to knock the 7 stone person over. Not necessarily knock them out, but certainly to knock them over, because the force of their punches against the small weight of the competitor would knock them down. The 7 stone boxer, they could compete possibly, and they might be a better boxer, but physically it would be far harder for them to knock down the 18 stone boxer because they just wouldn't have the power to knock down that weight with a punch. Therefore, it also prevents serious injury for the lighter competitor if you prevent these mismatches happening. So in sports like boxing, karate, judo, you tend to compete against other competitors who are in the same weight category. Judo and karate competitions are also organised by skill level, and this is also called grading. And the most common visual way this is the colour of the belt. So you wouldn't likely see somebody who's a beginner in judo, which is probably a brown belt or a blue belt, fighting against somebody who is a black belt 10th dan, because you know that the skill level of the black belt 10th dan is going to absolutely hammer the person who's a brown belt. So in order to keep those beginners in the sport and in the competition, you let them compete against people of a similar skill level. And as they progress, they can get into more difficult, more challenging competitions, and so that they gradually progress up to the top level, which should be the black belt. Similar skilled competitors will produce a fair match. So as I said, a black belt 10th dan would smash a brown belt beginner. It's all about providing meaningful competition. So sports competitions can be balanced in the following ways: by age, by gender, and as you've seen in this podcast, by weight and by skill level. And many sports competitions are balanced in order to prevent injury and to allow fair competition.